Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of The Crooked Hour. I've made two of these videos breaking down the entire card and they both failed because of audio reasons, so going through a state of hardcore depression right now, but we move on. And now I'm just going to be talking about the main event and what I expect to happen in the rematch, because Israel definitely deserves a rematch no matter what. Like, even though Alex Pereira is 3-0 against him across combat sports, Israel was such a dominant champ and such beating everybody. He needs a rematch. If he doesn't get a rematch, I don't know, just kind of stupid. Like, who is there to fight as well? Like, who is there for him to fight? Like, he's already beat Cannonier, he's already beat Robert. You know, maybe Sean Strickland if he beats Cannonier, but I think Cannonier is going to beat Sean Strickland. So it's a very interesting one. My prediction for the rematch is Alex Pereira is gonna win, and I'll talk a little bit why. You know, it was a very close fight. Like, I'm not under the impression that Alex Pereira got destroyed. Like, a lot of people are saying Alex Pereira got destroyed and he got like lucky he got knocked out. It was a competitive fight, and I'm going to have a hard time explaining this, but I feel like Alex Pereira is going to be better off in the rematch. Like, I feel like Israel Adesanya had more of a read on Alex Pereira than Alex Pereira had on Israel, and that sounds stupid because Alex Pereira's bet him twice. Surely, like, he'd have to have a good read on him, but I feel like all the wrestling stuff was unexpected from Israel to Alex Pereira. Like, he was not expecting all that stuff. And he kind of had to discover that his best game plan was to get in close. And watching that back, he's going to realise that. And I think he's going to employ wrestling in the rematch. Like, he took Israel down. He knows he can take him down. And I feel like he's going to work on that a lot. I do. I feel like he's going to work on the takedowns. Going to work on the grappling. Going to work on the striking. And in the rematch, he's going to be able to take Israel down. He's going to be able to bully Israel. And Israel's going to land some nice shots, but I feel like it's going to a more dominant performance from Alex Pereira. Like, this time I was predicting a third round stoppage, and I'm going to predict it early now for the rematch, a third round stoppage by Alex Pereira. The concern, though, is if you're on the side of Alex Pereira for the rematch, Israel did land that really nice shot at the end of round one, and that was still a possibility after round one. Every time Alex Pereira was going in close, I was like, you have to be careful of those shots that Israel can hit you with. But as well, the reason I think Alex Pereira got hit with those shots is just because Israel's a great striker, of course, but I think it was because it was at the end of the round. Like, surely towards the end of a round, you're kind of more relaxed. You're like, I can make more mistakes because I don't have longer to pay for it. But in the side of Alex Pereira, he made a big mistake. He was nearly out on his feet. He's lucky it was the end of the round because he would have lost. He would have got TKO'd by Israel Adesanya. And in the rematch, he can't afford to get that. Like, he can't afford that to happen to him, especially that early. He needs to be a lot more, strategic, bullying, grappling, really threatening Israel with, like, nice stuff. And if you're on the side of Israel, you've just really got to do what you did in that fight but not get clipped. But I feel like it's going to be harder in the rematch. Like, what can Israel change? Maybe you do some more grappling, but he was finding it hard to get Alex Pereira down. The only reason that Israel did get Alex Pereira down for that moment was because it was kind of a weird scramble. Alex Pereira tried to get on top, but Alex Pereira kind of committed to going to the ground, expecting himself to get on top, but Israel used his MMA experience to get on top, and then he continued to, like, dominate Alex Pereira on the ground. Alex Pereira couldn't get up. But you got to remember, Alex Pereira took Israel down, and that was like one of his only attempts. Like, I'm not sure what the official attempts were. I'll see if they're here. Yeah, he got 1 of 1. That was his only attempts. While you look at Adesanya, 1 of 4. What if he attempted more takedowns? I feel like he will in the rematch, especially. Imagine Alex Pereira getting Israel down in the first round. Probably the easiest, where he's got the most gas. these are questions you have to ask yourself. It'll be a good fight. It has to happen, the rematch, you know. My question is, well, not my question, but what I do think is, I think this is only beneficial for Alex Pereira. Imagine if next fight he was versing a Marvin Vettori or Robert Whittaker, somebody who has the grappling and the striking, like a massive advantage in the grappling, while Israel's probably only got a slight advantage in the grappling. Like, you get some of those guys that are real good at grappling and chuck them in there against him next, he's going to be in danger. But this allows him to work more, work in the grappling more. He doesn't have to stress too much. Like, he has this camp to work on his own grappling to take down Israel, and then he has time after that to prepare for whoever he's versing next, which I'm guessing if he beats Israel, that's got to be the winner of Robert and Paulo Costa. I do believe that will be the next fight for Alex Pereira. And if Israel Adesanya wins the rematch, I feel like they've got to run it back. As much as that holds up the whole division, they've got to run it back, you know. Alex Pereira will be 3-0 against, well, 3-1 if Israel wins against Israel across all combat sports. And I know kickboxing's a different thing, but surely that's got to count for something. If this was a more dominant performance, I wouldn't say give Israel the rematch, but he just put on such a good fight, and, you know, thinking on it, all he's done, you know, you can't just throw him back out there. You have to have the rematch, but if Israel wins, I mean, they're 1-1 in UFC. Alex Pereira's 2-0 out of the UFC. They have to run it back. They have to have a third fight, especially if the second fight's close. Like, if the second fight goes how that fight went, but without Alex Pereira getting the KO, a fight goes like that, they have to run it back for a third time. And then the third time's the deciding time. Like, whoever wins that third fight will win. They'll be 1-1 in the UFC. Alex Pereira wins, will, you know, he's 4-1 against Israel Adesanya across combat sports. It's going to be an interesting one. I hope Alex Pereira wins, just because it's interesting. Like, it is interesting. I don't want to see Israel back on top and, you know, he's got to find the next guy to fight. I want to see Alex Pereira on top. I want to see Israel fight some contenders, work his way back to the title, and then we can talk. I don't want to see Alex Pereira loser go fight some grapplers and then get messed up, and then all of a sudden it's like, that was just a chapter that went past, you know. No matter what, it'll be very, very interesting fight, and I think I'm way more confident in Alex Pereira, though, in this second fight after seeing them in that octagon and seeing the improvements that they can make and the confidence that Alex Pereira will have now and the doubt Israel Adesanya will have, because I know he comes across as a very confident, nothing worries him guy, but it's quite obvious a lot of the time that, you know, this stuff does get to him. It's just got to be up to him to not let this get to him too much, you know. I feel like Israel is an emotional fighter. He is. I think he's a calculated fighter, but I think he's also emotional. Like, he lets stuff get to him, not really in the fight, but outside the fight, and I feel like that's got to play a little bit into the fight. I just think he's so strategically good that it doesn't really come across that way, just because he's very calculated, and it really showed it in that fight. All the respect to Israel Adesanya, you know. He actually had a fight this time. Like, he actually went into the fire. Alex Pereira might have brought it, but he actually went into the fire, got some nice grappling, showed some good moments in his game. Credit to Israel Adesanya. He's got my respect. Not that it means much, but he's got my respect. Probably got a lot of the fans' respect. They've got to run it back. Alex Pereira will win by round 3 TKO. After grappling Israel for the first round. Second round, he's just going to bully him a little bit after ground and pounding him for a bit in the first round. And then third round, he's going to find the shot on the chin. I'm feeling by a straight. straight shot. There was so many opportunities I felt like that he could throw that straight cross. But maybe he was concerned about the hooks from Israel, the check hook. But there were so many chances I felt like, I was like, just throw that straight cross. Because Israel's kind of like leaning back against the fence. And Pereira kept coming through like with hooks. And I was thinking just cross hook. One of them's got to land. But, I mean, then you have the chance of Israel throwing a little hook in between and, you know, catching him. Which he did do at the end of the first round. Great fight, great card. I might make more content on this. I made like a 30-minute video talking about every single fight, and the audio didn't work properly because I'm changing a few things up on this channel, trying to make it a bit easier for myself so I can upload more videos without having such a big process. But yeah, thank you all for dropping by, and as always, have a good one.